2452, State of Kansas versus Tara L. Maxwell. Jared Regier for the state, and the defendant, Tara Maxwell, appears in person and pro se. Because Ms. Maxwell, you failed to appear March 26, 2025, we will treat this as your first appearance on one count of operating a motor vehicle without registration or expired tag. This is an unclassified misdemeanor. It does carry penalties, the maximum of which could be a $2,500 fine and 30 days to 6 months in jail. But these are the extremes and not what we typically see, which are about a $50 fine and probation is what we might typically see, but that's not any guarantees. You might also be eligible for diversion, but let me see. It looks like you've got quite a few things popping up here from 2005. Traffic. Quite a few things going on in your record, but they look maybe more like limited or civil. You do have a prior traffic. I have no idea if the county attorney would consider you for diversion or not. Have you ever had a diversion?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Is that something you're interested in? You'd have to pay a fine, court costs, a diversion fee, a diversion application fee to see if you qualify, or you could plead not guilty and we could set this for trial at a later date. You could plead guilty. We could proceed with sentencing. You could plead no contest, neither admitting nor denying, but you'd still be found guilty and we'd proceed with sentencing. Because there is the potential, remotely, but potentially a 6-month jail sentence. You do have the right to a court-appointed attorney if you cannot afford to hire one and you qualify for one. So there's a lot of options there on the issue of attorney. Do you wish to have an attorney or waive an attorney?
Well, this is a lot of information all at one time. My husband thought he paid the registration for my car, and we have 4 cars because we have 2 older kids who drive.
Excuse me there. Today is not the trial. If you want a trial, I'll enter a not guilty plea and set your court trial for a later date.
I'm just trying to figure out, this sounds super, super serious, and it was
Well,
initially a ticket for not having the right registration, and then I paid that and took care of it, and in my subconscious I was just thinking, okay, we took care of it, and so I completely forgot to go to the court date or that I even had one.
All right, Miss Maxwell, what I'm going to do is enter a not guilty plea. You can always change that. I'm going to give you a trial date. It'll be a trial date to the court, and you'll need to be ready for trial. But
what happens if I don't want to go to trial?
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
But after you've had time to decide if you want an attorney, decide if you want a trial, this will give you time to decide if you want the attorney, decide if you want a trial, and it'll give you time to look into the diversion if you want to. Diversion could keep it off your record, but it would cost you more.
I don't really care too much about it being on my record, honestly. I just want to take care of it today.
Well, if you take care of it today, you would be representing yourself. You'd be basically waiving your right to an attorney. And if you pled guilty or no contest today, you would proceed to sentencing. And I'm saying I can't guarantee you, but a lot of times it's a $50 fine, a 30-day sentence suspended where you don't serve it, but you have a 6-month probation. And if you violate that, you could serve it.
What kind of probation?
Well, it would be a non-reporting probation, but I'm just telling you what I typically see, not what I'm guaranteeing you or telling you or promising you. I can't do any of that.
Can you explain what a non-reporting probation means?
Well, I'm not going to be your attorney, and I'm not going to negotiate an outcome with you. That's why I say I'm going to enter a trial date and give you time to seek an attorney who could help you with all these questions. So let's set this August 27.
I didn't think this was something I needed an attorney for.
Well, you may not. Most people don't, but I can't tell you whether you do or you don't.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but
No,
I'm
you're
just
not.
very
No, you're not.
confused about what's going on.
I understand, and I don't want you to be confused by any stretch of the imagination. I want you to know exactly what you're doing and that you're able to do the process you want to. I can just tell you that a lot of people come in, they waive their right to an attorney, they enter a plea of no contest, which means they don't admit it, but they don't deny it, or they plead guilty. And then we proceed to sentencing. A lot of times it's a $50 fine, a 30-day sentence, and 6 months of non-reporting probation with the conditions that you pay within a set time and you don't violate any laws. Now, that's what I normally see, but in the worst possible scenario, you could get a $2,500 fine and 6 months in jail. I have never, ever seen that happen, but it could happen. So, and anything in between, anything in between could happen. But I've got a lot.
And this is for not showing up to the court date for a registration. I'm just confused.
All right, this is what could happen for driving without a tag or without proper registration under Kansas law. But I've got a lot of people on the docket, and I want you to have plenty of time to decide how you want to proceed. The best way to accomplish both ends for me is to set this over to August 27th at 1:30. And I think that's also the best for you because you do have a lot of questions that you deserve answers to. And you deserve the opportunity to talk to an attorney as well as to go online and look at the diversion. So as much as you want to get this over with today, I don't see how you can do that with all the questions that you have and the uncertainties.
I thought I was to come to court today.
You are.
And then this would be like, I mean, I'm being treated like I did something seriously wrong. And now I'm supposed to do what? Like I show up at 1:30 in August and then what?
Well, by then you could be diverted and have it off the court docket. You could have an attorney and you could come in and take it to trial.
What am I taking to trial? I don't understand what I'm taking to trial.
One charge of driving without a tag or proper license, I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong now. You would be having a trial for the court to determine if you were driving without proper legal registration or tag.
I was
Right.
doing that.
All right, so you're wanting to admit that today.
I mean, I don't know how else I'm supposed to defend that. That's what happened. It was
okay.
accidental.
Well, so are you wanting to plead guilty, admitting that today without the advice of an attorney? I mean, I can accept that if that's what you want, but it's got to be your choice.
I don't want to go to jail for that. I mean, is that a possibility?
Okay, that I've told you that is a possibility, although I've told you what typically happens and that I've never seen anyone go to jail for that, but they could technically, under the statute, go for 6 months. But I feel like you're trying to get me to be the prosecutor and negotiate your case.
I guess my question is who makes the decision?
As to what happens to you if you're found guilty? The court does. That would be me.
Okay.
Now I would listen to Mr. Regeer's recommendations. You might know something about your history that I don't. I would listen to any recommendations you had. But ultimately, I would be the one to decide if you're guilty based on your plea, and or trial, and I'd be the one to decide your sentence.
Okay.
So the first order of business is, do you want an attorney? Or do you want to waive your right to attorney and represent yourself?
I can't pay for an attorney.
All right, if you want to apply for court appointed, you can do that, and I will decide if you qualify for a court appointment.
I mean, I guess I better do that.
All right, the officer will give you an application to fill out. Complete it, don't leave it blank, don't leave the dates blank, and leave that with him. In the meantime, tell me where you work.
I'm a realtor.
You are a realtor?
Yes.
All right. Well, you may or may not qualify for an attorney, but I'm going to have you fill out the form. And I'll try to let you know before you leave today if you qualify for an attorney, if I can get that. Jen, I don't think Missy's here today. If you could have that faxed over maybe to our clerk, if she turns one in at your office. And you may not be at your office, but if you could ask somebody to fax that to me. I know fax doesn't usually come across real well. Trying to work with Miss Maxwell on this. All right, I'm going to take a recess, Miss Maxwell, so you can fill that out. And then I'll take you up later on the docket.
Okay.
Judge Webster.
Yes.
Hey, Judge, Miss Moore looked over that,
Maxwell.
or Maxwell, I'm sorry, looked over the attorney application and she feels there's no way she's gonna qualify. I think she is now wants to just see about getting diversion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get the prosecutor back here and we'll take that. Thank you.
Okay, just wanted to let you know.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. You're welcome. Is she with you now?
She
Yeah.
is.
All right. We are back on the record in 2024 TR 3452, State of Kansas versus Tara L. Maxwell. Parties appearing as before, Jared Regier for the state, the defendant, Miss Maxwell, in person and pro se. We had taken a recess so she could apply for a court-appointed attorney. I've been advised she wants to go back on the record, thus we are. Miss Maxwell, what is your position at this time?
I would like to apply for diversion.
You've decided you do or do not want to pursue the attorney application?
No, I do not.
All right, but you do want to apply for diversion, is that correct?
Right.
Now, you understand that if you do not get diversion, you're still back to that position of where
Mhm.
you were. You understand that? You're not guaranteed diversion and you
Right.
could end up back where we are right now. So if you're denied diversion, I'm going to have to continue this case, but I'm going to expect you to pursue the diversion to the end to find out if you're approved or not. And if
Mhm.
you're approved, you have to comply with the next steps. If you're
Right.
denied, then you need to decide if you want to pursue an attorney, court appointed, or what you want to do in this case. So at this time, I will continue this at your request to September 22nd is my next available date for something of that sort. September 22nd at 9 a.m. Or Mr. Regier, do you prefer we keep it set for trial in the event she's denied diversion? So that we don't come back in the same position we're in right now.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would defer to the court as to how it wishes to proceed. As the court is well aware, the state's understanding it is a pre-trial diversion. So largely it would appear that the impetus for proceeding along the route of diversion, if that is indeed the defendant's intention, would fall to the defendant. But as to whether or not the court wishes to maintain the August 27th bench trial date, the state does not take a position.
Well, the 1-year anniversary of this court ticket is, or this ticket is October 21st, so we're getting pretty close to a year mark. Miss Maxwell, do you have a preference whether I keep this set for trial or for a status to determine if you get the diversion? Or if you even know what I'm asking you?
I'm not really sure what you're asking.
Okay. Well, to keep this case from reaching that 1 year anniversary mark, and to kind of keep your feet to the fire, as the saying goes, to make sure you keep progressing forward, Miss
Yeah.
Maxwell, I will leave it on the bench trial docket, August 27.
Very good, Your Honor.
So either be diverted or ready to go to trial. And if you want an attorney, you're going to have to hire one well before then, or you're going to have to apply for court appointed well before then. And if you show up without an attorney, I will trust that that means you're going to waive your attorney and represent yourself. Now, if you're denied diversion and you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest, you don't want to go to trial, make sure you let the county attorney know before that date so they can cancel the witnesses that they will have here that date. Okay, if there's nothing further, I will continue.
Pardon me, Judge, on that case.
On the Maxwell, yes?
Yeah, if she happens to qualify, I can tell the court that I am going to be out of the state on August 27.
Okay. Well, talk about being a yo-yo. I guess we're gonna have to go back to, do you want it to September 22nd? Are you gonna be here then?
Yes, Judge, I'm not going out of town that long, but yes.
Okay. All right, September
Your Honor?
22nd, 9 a.m., yes?
She's not applying for the court-appointed attorney.
I know, but if she's denied diversion, she may not qualify. That's why we need to figure out where we're going from there. So I understand. She's just kind of at that spot where, and looking at her record, sometimes I have a real strong indication, but sometimes I don't. And I think I don't know. But it's not my position to qualify it. But September 22nd, 9 a.m., be back here or get another warrant. Unless you're diverted and the county attorney tells you that you're diverted and you don't have to.
How soon do they decide whether you've been
Usually
accepted for diversion?
my belief is that it's usually within a few weeks, but if you haven't heard from them in the mail, you better be calling them in a few weeks.
Okay.
All right, nothing further then. We'll be in recess on the Maxwell matter. Ms. Maxwell is excused for today. And then we'll go back on the record and Jeremy Moore.